Hello and welcome to this beautiful video in year 2022. I hope you have seen the beautiful ending and beginning of the new year, the ending of 2021 and beginning of 2022. Hello and welcome and happy new year. Well, we are here again. Once again, we continue from where we left off. We talk about how to speak inclusively year 2022. Hello and welcome. My name is Shirley En. I am a certified inclusion specialist, a principal consultant at Thaboshi Inclusive. We are a consulting company dealing with general inclusion. Hello and welcome once again. Yes, let's get straight to the business of the day. We are looking at how you can speak in an inclusive way. We speak to people on different platforms. You might be speaking in any platform. It might be a conference, or it might be a meeting, or whatever that it is that you are speaking at. And speaking inclusively really deals with accommodating all people in your speech. It comes from understanding and consciousness that people have got different needs, and that often when you talk to people on a large scale, you are talking to people who might be coming from different backgrounds and presenting different conditions, and you want to speak such that all those people are accommodated, all those people get to hear whatever that you are talking about. You don't want to leave anyone out. So this is what we mean by speaking in an inclusive way, or speaking inclusively. So the first aspect is calling people by names instead of any other thing like condition or status, marital status, or whatever. Inclusive speaking promotes speaking, calling people by their names. Learn people's names such that if you have to call a person in an audience, you need to use their name instead of labeling them or calling them by their condition, calling them by their parents or by their children's name, calling them by their features. So you use people's name as much as possible. The second one is that you refer to you use the word people before you can use any specific condition. If you have to describe a person by their condition, or if you have to specify that you are talking about people of a certain class or a certain condition, always start with people or persons or a person. For instance, you don't say disabled people or blind people. You rather say people with disabilities, people with mental retardation, people with hearing impairment, or people who are deaf. Even though with the deaf, you can actually just say the deaf instead of people saying people with deafness. You are allowed to say the deaf, and that is just one area where you are allowed to use the deaf, and that D has to be a capital D. So you say people with. So that is how you can develop speaking inclusively. The third one is that you do not have to disclose details about people's conditions unnecessarily. If you are talking to people about a certain individual for whatever reason, and it is not important for you to go into details about that particular person, please don't. Avoid talking and disclosing and details about somebody's condition unnecessarily. For example, a person might say you are talking about a child who has a hearing impairment or who has whatever disability. And instead of just saying so and so in class, this and that, or so and so who's physically impaired, you start talking about how that child was born, what led to him being impaired. And it's not necessary. Yes, there could be situations where you need to tell or to disclose details about somebody's condition, but in most cases, it is not necessary. And please don't divulge details about somebody's condition unless it is very, very necessary. The fourth aspect is that consult people if you have to cite them or to reference them as examples. If you are giving a speech or you are speaking at a certain area and you need to cite certain people or a certain individual as an example, please consult that particular person before you actually go out and use him or give him as an example. Consult that particular person that I'm going to give a speech, I'm going to give a lecture on this and that. Would you mind if I use your case as an example? Or if I cite your case? That you have people's information does not give you the right to share or to cite or reference them anyhow you wish. You might be having rights, but you should also remember that those people have got rights, and where the rights are, really there are responsibilities. Rights and responsibilities, they slip together. So consult people if you have to use themselves as examples, even if you are going to use pseudonyms or you are going to change some setup here and there. It is quite human for you to consult that person, especially if they're going to be in the audience, or if what you are going to talk about and how what you're going to cite is going to end up in the public domain. The fifth aspect is that you use a common language for your audience. Use the language that all people in the audience can understand and relate with. And where there are some people who might not understand the language, provide translation. You could also provide transcription. By doing so, you are catering for all people. You don't want to leave other people out. You try to be as inclusive as possible in your speech. So you provide translation, you provide transcription, you provide all forms of accommodations that you can do. So basically, I want to emphasize that you use a common language, yes, but remember that the language might not be common to all. There might be few people who are left out, and you don't want to leave out anyone. Inclusion is about remembering those that we usually leave out. So provide translation for such people or transcription. Also, you could modify your speech according to levels of understanding of different people. Or I would say with this one, you could also simplify your speech such that all people are catered for. Apart from translation, apart from using a common language, simplify your language. I hope my language is very, very simple. The sixth one is that you engage your audience Don't act like a superpower, like you know it all and you become the center of attraction. If you are speaking in a setting that you can involve your audience, and I take that most of settings allow that, involve your audience, ask them questions, tease them, you know, allow them to show you or to share what they have, because you are not the only one who has the information or you who knows it all. Understand that inclusion is about accepting all people and learning from each other and accepting and harnessing and appreciating diversity. It's about enjoying diversity. So in as much as possible, involve your audience. Even the smallest gesture of involvement will mean a lot to people, because they will feel part of what you were talking about. It promotes ownership, it promotes humanity. So basically, I want to, number 6 is about engaging your audience as much as possible. And then the 7th one is that you speak positively. Avoid speaking negatively. Avoid speaking from the negative leg angle. Speak from possibilities angle. Speak from the positive angle. Promote positivity. Avoid negative language. Avoid negative comments. Avoid using unnecessary bullying language and all that. So that is basically what I want to say, that avoid using negative language, use positive language as much as possible. This one I might need to expand it more in the next videos. But hell, for now I just want to say avoid using negativity. Negative language is like when somebody asks you, where are you going? And then you say, I'm not going anywhere, but you are on your way out. This is negative speaking. You are saying, I am not going anywhere, but we can see you that you are going. Or somebody says, where are you going? And then you say, I'm not going to the toilet. That is negative speaking. You are talking about what cannot be done instead of speaking about what can be done. It discourages people. It closes all doors and possibilities for any growth. So avoid using negative language, use positive language. The 8th one is speak aloud. Remember that people who have got hearing loss of some extent, people who have got hearing impairment, and remember they may not speak, they may not hear you if you speak at a low tone. So speak loudly and as audible as possible. Simplify the way you speak. Don't speak too fast. Yes, we cannot change the way you speak, but remember that people who might not even understand your accent, accommodate those people. Accommodate people like us who did not grow in your vicinity, who did not grow with you every day. So think about all people when you speak and accommodate all people. So with this one, like I said, you become as audible as possible. If you have a low voice like myself, you can use microphone. Unfortunately, I don't have one at the moment, but I'm looking into buying a microphone so that I can project my voice and speak as loud as possible, speak as simple as possible, and so that all people can be able to hear what you are talking about. And then number 9, use a balanced language. Avoid bias in your speech. Avoid giving examples, for instance, about one religion over another. Avoid giving examples about one gender as opposed to another. Avoid speaking negatively about a certain gender or certain genders over others. Avoid bias. Speak in a balanced tone. Avoid negative comments about women, negative comments about men, negative comments about other sects of the population. This is how you speak inclusively. When you are balanced, when you are gentle, even in the way you speak. This is what inclusivity is about, because you want to accommodate all people. You want to make all people feel welcome and homely. Number 10, you use total communication. Total communication is whereby you use everything that you have in your speech or in your speaking. You don't just use verbal speaking or verbal format of speaking. You use other formats of speaking. You use text. You also use gestures. You smile if you need to smile. You nod your head if you have to nod your head. You show with your gestures, because someone somewhere might be able to pick what you are saying from all those gestures, from all those expressions, from all those things that you are doing. So accommodate all people in your speaking. And with number 10, use total communication. This is the 10 things that you can do to speak inclusively. I know that you are speaking every day, but you have not been speaking inclusively. And this video will help you to speak inclusively. I just want to go through them in a wrap. Use names as much as possible. Start your descriptions of people with people with, and then you say people with disabilities, for instance. Avoid disclosing details about other people's conditions unnecessarily. Number 4, consult if you have to use people's conditions as examples, or you have to cite or reference their conditions for one reason or the other. Number 5, you use a common language. And if there are still some people who cannot benefit from the common language, you provide translation and transcription, and you also simplify that language looking at your audience. Number 6, you engage your audience as much as possible. Number 7, you speak positively. Number 8, you speak audibly or loudly, as loud as possible. Number 9, you use a balanced language. Number 10, you use total communication. With these 10, you will surely be able to speak in an inclusive language, inclusive way. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't lose any of our updates, and also share this channel. Comment on this video to help us to improve, and to also ask questions. Direct us on how you want us to help you. Thank you very much for watching. Le kamoso.